Hare Krishna, John Prabhu. After 1 minute,
Hare Krishna.
long time no see.
Yeah.
Been
Hare Krishna, John Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Who is that?
Minute.
that is my alter ego. Okay,
Your alter ego, who is that?
it's on the YouTube. Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Pashatari Shetarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kipasindubhya patitanam bhavane.
Namadeviyo Vaishnaveviyo Namo Namaha.
So we continue on in this most interesting topic of Guru Tattva, and we are going in a like this, trying to understand, but it is important because this Bhagavata Vidhi initiation and Pancharatrika Vidhi initiation is the most confusing this thing what's going on nowadays. And so to demarcate it clearly in our minds and philosophically, we are trying to understand in great detail what is Bhagavata Vidhi and what is Pancharatrika Vidhi, and then we can much more easily understand what the Guru does in each for each Vidhis, and how actually in our Sampradaya now from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati onwards, they have the Acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, he has incorporated the Pancharatrika Vidhi within the Bhagavata Vidhi. So sometimes it appears like he's acting like a Pancharatrika Guru, but he is a Bhagavata Vidhi Guru, incorporating the Pancharatrika Vidhi, the processes inside that Bhagavata Vidhi to make it easier to follow the Bhagavata Vidhi. So, the purpose, the real initiation remains in our sampradaya, the Bhagavata initiation. And let's not get bewildered by the Pancharatrika process which has been incorporated, which Srila Prabhupada here last couple of weeks we have seen it is not essential, but it is required for the conditioned souls more and more in this age to purify and engage the senses. So we will hear it more and more as we go along, and we then later on we will do a summary study of the two processes, what exactly is Pancharatriki, what exactly is Bhagavata Vidhi, and we'll come to that. Okay, let's carry on. We will go to the Smaranam, the number 3 stage. We have done meaning we have kind of gone through the Shravanam and Kirtanam processes from the Srila Prahlad Maharaj's famous verse, which is 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23rd and 24th. Sri Prahlad Uvacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sankyam Atmanivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhakteschena Navalakshana Kriyeta Bhagwanti Adha Tan Manye Adhitam Uttamam. This Navalakshanam is the 9 features. Possessing 9 different processes, he calls them. Processes of devotion service, Lakshanam. And so let's read the verse again. Prahlad Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So let's go to the Smaranam. Shravanam, we went through this stage, I mean this section, and we went through Kirtanam. And last week we had a very nice discussion on the difference between, I mean, from the first offense, blaspheming the devotee. So we went to the difference between blasphemy uh, and what was it? What was it? Criticism? No.
Fault finding,
Fault finding.
calling a spade is spade.
Correct. And being basically a discriminating. Okay, so number 3, Smaranam. Who would like to read? John Prabhu, want to do? John Prabhu, do you like to?
Yes, start at 3.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Smaranam. After one regularly performs the processes of hearing and chanting, and after the core of one's heart is cleansed, Smaranam, remembering is recommended. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2:111, Shukadev Goswami tells King Parikshit, Itan nirvidyamanam ichitam akuto bayam Yoginam nirnitam harir namanukirtanam. O king, for great yogis who have completely renounced all material connections, for those who desire all material enjoyment, and for those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord is recommended. End quote. According to different relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are varieties of Naman Nukirtanam, chanting of the holy name. And thus, according to different relationships and mellows, there are 5 kinds of remembering. These are as follows. A, conducting research into the worship of a particular form of the Lord. B, concentrating the mind on one subject and withdrawing the mind's activities of thinking, feeling, and willing from all other subjects. C, concentrating upon the particular form of the Lord. This is called meditation. D, concentrating one's mind continuously on the form of the Lord. This is called Duravanushmriti, or perfect meditation. And E, awakening a likening for concentration upon a particular form. This is called samadhi, or trance. Mental concentration upon particular pastimes of the Lord in particular circumstances is also called remembrance. Therefore, samadhi, trance, can be possible in 5 different ways in terms of one's relationship. Specifically, the trance of devotees on the stage of neutrality is called mental concentration.
Mm-hmm. So let's discuss this, huh?
Okay.
So, I mean, hearing and chanting, basically hearing, Srila Prabhupada explains it is Harinam and also Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing. And Srimad Bhagavatam, specifically, we have been hearing again that this is the religion of the age. Basically, this is how Lord Sri Krishna left Bhagavatam behind when he left. And hearing, understanding, and studying from a pure Vaishnava under his shelter, under his guidance, from him is the Bhagavata Vidhi. So, and specifically Srimad Bhagavatam because it has all the rasas, the 5 rasas. all these 5 rasas which Srila Prabhupada mentions in the end here, 5 different ways in terms of one's relationship, and then this relationship, and all the different, and basically it helps one in this. Here he says, when after one regularly performs the process of hearing and chanting Hare Krishna mantra and hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, hearing from the spiritual master, and then chanting it as much as possible. This would, from the core of one's heart, it will be cleansed. And then the remembrance can follow. So the other verse, which is also that Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, 1 to 18, is the similar. Maybe we could go there. SP 1 to 18. I'm trying to get to what we are doing, Guru Tattva discussion. So that's why I'm trying to go. So this is that 1 to 18. Nashta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead who is praised, transcendent songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Now this is the Nishtha platform. So in the Nishtha platform, one is supposed to be in this stage. This is concentrating upon a particular form of the Lord. This one. Dhyana. No? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Srila Prabhupada also explains this is the dhyana process of Hatha Yoga, and this is the Nishtha platform that one starts to remember the Lord, especially the deity forms, or Krishna, any other form, by Shravanam and Kirtanam. So this one is, maybe we can read the first para. Here's the remedy for eliminating all inauspicious things within the heart which are considered to be obstacles in the path of self-realization. The remedy is the association of the Bhagavatas. There are 2 types of Bhagavatas, namely the book Bhagavat and the devotee Bhagavat. Both the Bhagavatas are competent remedies, and both of them or either of them can be good enough to eliminate the obstacles. A devotee Bhagavat is as good as the book Bhagavat because the devotee Bhagavat leads his life in terms of the book Bhagavat, and the book Bhagavat is full of information about the personality of Godhead and his pure devotees who are also Bhagavatas. Bhagavat book and person are identical. And this we have heard in many times. So it's basically here, by hearing and chanting or hearing Bhagavatam, hearing in 2 categories, chanting and hearing Bhagavatam. Hearing Bhagavatam can be done also by serving the pure devotee, serving his instructions. That also, because some people may not have affinity to hear, and that affinity to hear can gradually develop by serving the lotus feet, which is the same as hearing, and gradually one wants to hear more and more also about Krishna. So either of them directly starts to cleanse the heart, by which one can get Smaranam. And then that Smaranam, Srila Prabhupada is explaining here, that these are 5 stages of this Smaranam, how it starts. It could start by researching into the worship of the particular form. Or I don't understand that so much. Can someone explain this?
Well, it sounds like delving into the scriptures and concentrating on one particular form of the Lord, how it appeared, some of the forms of the Lord, appear. They're not carved, and maybe that. Researching the form of the Lord, the pastimes of that particular deity, right? Would it be?
Yeah, it looks good. Anyone else Can you explain more?
Prabhu, I want to ask that in that verse 18, that either of them.
Yeah.
So either of them means that simply reading Bhagavatam, that is also competent.
But from whom?
Yeah, but sometimes that reading will not only reading will not work. No? So it's like some people argue that
First is
reading.
that, no? See, these are 9 stages, no? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. So it starts with that, and automatically by hearing, all these processes will come, no? It's not like if one is really hearing from the right source, there is no way one cannot do other things gradually. Because purification, that's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining here. After one regularly performs the process of hearing and chanting, and after the core of one's heart is cleansed, remembering is recommended. It is recommended, but he also writes here that it go. Where is there the chronological order? See here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Srila Prabhupada was saying, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Smaranam means trying to understand more and more about the Supreme Lord. So right now what we are trying to do is also considered Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam is all in this process. But where did this go with chronological? Can someone point it out in this?
Where did it go? What is the question?
Hearing of the Holy Name of the Lord is the beginning of the devotional service. Okay. Although any one of the 9 processes is sufficient, in chronological order, the hearing of the Holy Name of the Lord is the beginning. See? So this one, it automatically it will follow through by hearing. One cannot not do anything after hearing.
Okay, then it means if somebody is hearing, then automatically by hearing follow. But what is the case in which somebody is reading, but he's not trying to do other things? What is that reading?
Possible. I know one devotee who only used to hear, and I used to get so upset. Oh, he's just hearing, not doing other services, and there was so much problem, social commotion, because other devotees were doing that devotee service, and it was so much problem because only reading. But then one day, Srila Prabhupada came in his dream and told him, no, you have to go and preach and do this and do that. And then he started reading other things, and where Srila Prabhupada is also saying the same things, and gradually, he had to, forced to do other things. So, I mean, hearing meaning it is cleansing, no? It is automatically, it will happen. It may be just like here it says, no? Here Srila Prabhupada is saying that if a devotee performs only one of these 9 without deviation, he can attain the mercy of the Lord. And then it will automatically happen. Main thing is to yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshita. Somehow the other we become attached and start thinking the Lord. So whichever way one is getting attached, and sooner or later everything will start to come out from the heart. The problem is it may cause like social issues, social commotion, devotee association issues. So that one has to, because without their support it is tough, no, to practice the hearing nicely and long term. So this is what happened. The devotee, then the devotees left him, and then he had nobody else to support the cooking and cleaning and all these things. Then he had to do all of these things, which he was not wanting to do earlier. So it was very upsetting, no, because he couldn't hear well then for so long, for a long time. So then I think he understood better that social sangha is so important also to continuously hear. No? Anything else?
Yeah, sorry, Nimai Pandit Prabhu, Hare Krishna dear devotees. I just came,
Cool.
actually, just came online now, and just as I came, you said something, and I couldn't mistake. Maybe I'm mistaken hearing. You said that serving is the same as hearing Bhagavatam, something like that. I mean, it kind of meant to me like if anybody is studying and reading, they're getting knowledge. And then others who maybe don't have an affinity, as you said, or may not have the time or whatever to read, let's say, and they're busy serving Prabhupada. So that service gives the same reciprocation as hearing, is that right?
Of course. This Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, no?
Yeah. So my question then is, if that's the case, when we're reading, obviously we're directly dealing with knowledge and we're getting knowledge and then we have questions or whatever. So when we're serving, and let's take it to the extreme so it's just clear. So when somebody is serving, how is that knowledge given to them?
So Srila Prabhupada explained, no, these things that we have gone through these, and Srila Prabhupada gives many instances. So Bhagavad Gita 10:10, 10:11 are talking about that Krishna from the heart gives. 1 to 18 is telling, we just read, that by serving or by hearing, the heart starts getting purified, and because of which purified heart means Krishna in the heart, easier able to speak. Um, you know.
So you're saying basically Krishna or Prabhupada talk to that devotee from the heart, reveal stuff to them
That
from
devotee
the
means
heart.
to every devotee, you know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm just saying the devotee who's like serving, not, let's say, not reading. It's just an extreme example to be clear.
That's
Okay.
what we are doing, no? Trying to trying to hear the Chaitya Guru finally with all of these things. You know, when this control, the super soul is reached. So that's the 6th chapter, that verse Srila Prabhupada explained. So
Ultimately, right, we are trying to come to that level where we directly deal with Prabhupada or Krishna from within ourselves.
yeah,
Where there is like sometimes we hear Prabhupada is talking directly to Krishna. He's always talking to Krishna. That's, some of us believe it, some of us don't, but that's happening like that.
exactly, yeah. The problem is that the captain of the ship, Srila Prabhupada explains it at 135 purport, CC Adi Leela 135, that without the captain, we can get this, we can get this here and there. So, because hearing from the super soul, like here, let's see this thing in the Smaranam, this stages which are given, Smaranam stages, this samadhi stage, no, that is the pure devotion. Continuous state is attachment, asakti level, and this concentrating about a particular form, this is nishtha level in our stages of progress. So when we are just nishtha, meaning this, let me go back to, sorry, I don't have these references. I know I was not prepared to it and I don't really remember. I just have picked up over the years, but I can find the references later and post them. But of these stages, this thing, this 1 to 18, this is nishtha, this level by regular. What is troublesome in the heart, no? Srila Prabhupada in his lectures, no, he has explained this. Abhadreshu, this is the same thing as anartha nivriti. So this nashta prayeshu abhadreshu is anartha nivriti, which is the sadhu sangha, adav saddha, tatha sadhu sangha, tatha bhajana kriya, anartha nivriti syat, which is the, and then nishtha. So this is this stage. So by serving the pure devotee and hearing Bhagavatam, this is what happens, is we get to the nishtha stage by this abhadreshu. Now that would give us remembrance of the Lord. Problem is to get to the, at this stage, no, we are not able to, because this remembrance is broken. It is not continuous. So because of which the communication between us and Krishna is not continuous. It is broken. That means we hear our mind in this stage still. Srila Prabhupada explains this stage, no, this abhadreshu. He's explaining that this is, one time he says 75% clear. This abhadreshu, anartha nivriti. So nishtha stage is something like 75% clear. So 25% the material desires are still there. More or less, like Srila Prabhupada is generalizing it. So 25% material desires means we are hearing our mind, 25%, let's say. So the problem happens is that when we are not at the asakti level, which is this level, concentrating one's mind continuously, this can only be possible by attachment. And this a reference I can take you to is Bhagavad Gita 12:8 is that. 12:8 and 12:9 in explaining this point. Just fix your mind upon me. Maya sakta mana, Maya eva mana adhatsva. Maya sakta is also same verse, but just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. Now, why is this the asakti stage? Here he explains the next verse. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, this is the asakti level, then follow the regulated principles of bhakti yoga. And this is the same as, I'll come to that. So in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that in this verse, two different processes of bhakti yoga are indicated. The first applies to one who has actually developed an attachment for Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, by transcendental love. So this is asakti. So this level so thinking of Krishna without deviation is when asakti level has reached. Now, so if we go here, concentrating one's mind continuously on the form of the Lord, Dhruva Anusmriti or perfect meditation, this is asakti level. That's when we are able to speak to Krishna. Because the all these, because of the attachment is there, and the material desires are not coming in the middle because of the continuous attachment and thinking of Krishna. So this level, no, abhadreshu, which is happening, throughout, till we reach asakti, we cannot really distinguish between our mind and Krishna is speaking, Chaitya Guru is speaking. So till this stage, sadhana bhakti is required, which is Srila Prabhupada explaining in this next, this verse we just heard. if you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, sorry. O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, asakti level, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. So this one, no, by following sadhana bhakti, one would be pushed to asakti level, which is remembering Krishna throughout without deviation. So sadhana bhakti, the first principle is accepting the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. So external spiritual master is required because we are not able to distinguish between Chaitya Guru speaking and our mind speaking. He then takes us to the asakti level minimum, so that he puts us in touch with the Chaitya Guru directly. We would be able to be certain that Krishna is speaking at the asakti level. But that means continuous remembering of Krishna all the time, like there is no break. It just is going to become more deeper and in more rasa, more relationship, more and more till it reaches samadhi. It's not going to break, but because of our material desire. So if one is going to continuously follow this path of 1 to 18 alone and not take advantage of the of the external spiritual master, then the problem is that one gets misguided easily. One may become misguided if one is continuously depending only on the super soul in the heart, thinking that by serving Srila Prabhupada, I will be able to get direction from Krishna in the heart. That is the problem. One would, whenever there is breakage because of the material desires, one would keep getting misguided, and that's why 135 CC 130 Adi 135 Srila Prabhupada talks about this captain of the ship. We have to we need a captain of the ship. That is where the spiritual master is required. He explains many places. Let me just bring it up exactly what he says. The 135. One should always remember that a person who is reluctant to accept a spiritual master and be initiated is sure to be baffled in his endeavor to go back to Godhead. Sure. One who is not properly initiated, which is this, even if one is initiated but one is not following the process of initiation, may present himself as a great devotee, but in fact he is sure to encounter many stumbling blocks on his path of progress towards spiritual realization, with the result that he must continue this term of material existence without relief. Wow. Such a helpless person is compared to a ship without a rudder, for such a ship can never reach its destination. It is imperative, therefore, that one accept a spiritual master if he at all desires to gain the favor of the Lord. And then he goes to service. But so this is the problem. The stumbling blocks will always be there to that devotee who has not achieved the asakti stage by only serving the pure devotee. So that what Srila Prabhupada did was that service with, even if somebody cannot understand, then take the guidance of, like, I cannot read and all these things, then those devotees need guidance from other devotees who are from external spiritual master. He says to them, no, don't do this. Everything, whatever you are thinking, Krishna is saying, it's not really correct right now because it's material desire speaking. And so all the other like monitor gurus, Srila Prabhupada's servants can. So these are all shiksha gurus, not liberated but still sadhaka shiksha gurus. So all together there is a protective environment, a guidance environment. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everything is there. So gradually, we have to come to that taking guidance externally. Otherwise, this problem will remain. So you remember we keep talking about the leadership. As a leader, one won't have other people guiding, and helping keep one on the right path. especially in one's own Prabhu Datta Desha. So that's why one has to really take guidance of Srila Prabhupada's books. Even though this thing is true too, that just by chanting, hearing, serving the pure devotee, one can go back. But this is the problem. As a leader, one needs to really study Srila Prabhupada books so that philosophy, Srila Prabhupada says, the intelligence is the next door neighbor of the soul. And as if one has understood by intelligence, he says it is practically as it's following. I will post it. It is practically as if the soul has understood something like so, and that is confirmed in 7 chapter 19th verse. Where Bhaunam Janmanam Ante Jnanaman Mam Prapadyate. And then Prabhupada writes that among all the 4 people who come to Krishna, the one who is wise, who knows by knowledge that he wants God, so then he is the most dear to me. So because of this reason, at this stage when we don't have asakti level, especially the leaders, they need to develop the knowledge. And in so many places we can see 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, how much emphasis is being given on the sacrifices by hearing for the brahmacharis and even for the householders. And the sacrifice of knowledge is important. So, yeah.
Just as we have read that, that asakti, till we have to follow the sadhana bhakti.
Yeah.
Then you are saying the first point is Guru Ashraya. So,
Yeah.
okay, Guru Ashraya, but somebody has taken and somebody has not taken the padasraya of pure devotee. So, how to judge practicing same thing? Na? Just like if somebody is from some guru who is not a pure devotee or somebody is following Srila Prabhupada. So, their activities, how to judge by activities? Though the 4 things we have read that, na? Yeah, in the padasraya 4 things that Sakshadharitvena, then Yasya Bhakti Para Yathade. But how to see explain that he is, how can we judge that Balram Prabhu is taken ashra pure devotee and you have not taken? How to see that thing?
It is very nice query. This is very nice point. Balram Prabhu very nicely, he brought up all these points, I think a couple of days back in that WhatsApp chat group. And such nice questions were there. I really wanted to take them and put somewhere question answer, so very, I can just, let me share directly the screen and okay, so where is it gone? But Balram Prabhu is so good, huh? Like all the question answer becomes so uh, interesting. 1 second, where did it go? Can anyone tell me? The symptom. Okay, let me. Tattva only, right? This is the same discussion.
Yeah, Prabhu, once you told that, na, which shloka that 4.3 34. The next shloka is that he will see everyone equally. I remember.
No, that is. I think
Nimai Prabhu, maybe you could just give him a summary of the answer.
I forgot now. At that time you had written, no, asked, so immediately that was, oh, it was a couple of days before that. And I can try to remember, but at that time I suddenly that's the thought which came, and I think it was very good. So, okay, I think we are getting it now. Not the one. This one was there. Can you check your WhatsApp, anyone?
It'd be quicker to read the Bhagavad than to go through that WhatsApp and find something.
Yeah, so if I search by any specific word,
What the symptoms? It's a good idea. Oh. Yeah, very good. Thanks. So he asked, what are the symptoms we should look for if anyone who has taken exclusive shelter of Srila Prabhupada? Oh, okay. What symptoms should we look for that are in such Maya devotees and not in non-Maya devotees in all camps? So first is the doubts, because of this verse. Let me open second. Yeah. Because of this verse, taking shelter, it says that one would have no, basically one is saying, Srila Prabhupada, whatever one says, he accepts spiritual master as God, learns Bhagavatam from him, satisfies spiritual master, and unflinching faith in God and spiritual master. So that's why I said doubts. One doesn't have doubt in Srila Prabhupada's statement. So it's a theoretical doubt not there. Realization will not be there. Our knowledge and understanding will not be there, may not be there. But one says, it's like how it is true, not whether it is true. That's the first, to know people, that to distinguish between the two is by these symptoms, by hearing the person. Does it come out in one's talk and then the actions, that one is doubting whether this is correct or not correct? Srila Prabhupada's statements, concepts, actions, pastimes, instructions, so it all comes out in that. The first thing is that. And then if someone criticizes Srila Prabhupada, then of course we know what's going on. And if someone criticizes Srila Prabhupada, or if one criticizes and one is hearing and one does not become like upset or like disturbed by it, then one can know that is not taken shelter. Because how can one take shelter of a master and not be disturbed by these things? And of course, if it is continuous and one cannot defeat or one cannot really stop a person, then one would go away because one cannot bear it. It's just the normal thing. And then hearing will be the most, because shelter, one who is taking, one is studying Bhagavatam from one person, no? That person, one is learning Bhagavatam. So from that person. So, and Srila Prabhupada explains how a Bhagavatam should be heard. It is in not just Srila Prabhupada, the Sutta Goswami is explaining, chastely one needs to hear from that pure devotee to really understand whom to hear from. So that's why selecting the right person to hear is actually taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Because one has to hear only from Srila Prabhupada or from someone who is, or from so many other devotees who are transparently passing on Srila Prabhupada too. Like not we are answering, like that Srila Prabhupada is answering. And of course from other acharyas whom Srila Prabhupada, and right translations of those other acharyas, just to make sure it is a chaste hearing from and from Krishna, coming from directly from Krishna through the chain of disciplic succession. Nashta, Evam parampara praptam, imam rajarshoyo vidu. That parampara is continuing from Krishna. So that is the, according to me, that is based on this NOD 7th chapter. That is the symptom external. And of course, then he asked, who has taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada? And so, as much as I have understood, that not only, these are just the symptom of by which one can know whether somebody is taken shelter or not. But if somebody is really taking shelter, it may not be initially, but gradually all these things will develop in a devotee, that one would become more and more eager to hear from Srila Prabhupada. And eager to hear the glories of Srila Prabhupada more and more. And discriminating between devotees becomes convinced of it. That really convinced, one won't want to hear from others who are not taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Can't. It just won't match in the constitution. And then of course, wherever you talk to him, because that devotee's consciousness, that consciousness is automatically filled with Shastra Chakshusha, Srila Prabhupada's statements by which one is seeing the world all around. So if you ask something or any conversation, automatically it is like you don't have to artificially try to do something. Automatically all these things from, even if he doesn't say, Srila Prabhupada says, whatever he says, it will be from Srila Prabhupada's understanding only. It's like imbued, it's like a son, the child, a daughter of Srila Prabhupada, like that heritage. So automatically in parampara is like his being is like becoming like Srila Prabhupada's child. I find so many devotees around the world who are like exclusively hearing from Srila Prabhupada. I have no problem. I can trust blindly they will do this action or say this thing because they're just Srila Prabhupada's children. So they're forced to do or act in a certain manner because they're trained by Srila Prabhupada in this by hearing. And so not in doubt or so no doubt for any situation in life. So 2.7 Bhagavad Gita, a symptom of the person who has accepted a bona fide spiritual master is that he will not have a doubt, no perplexity in life. So that's how one becomes dhira. And it is of course a progression. All of these are progressive. These are not the qualifications required eligibility for taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada. And eligibility is these doubts and external symptoms. But by taking that and going through the initiation process and purification and everything, then these will develop automatically, gradually.
Nimai Prabhu, can I ask you questions on this?
Yes, Prabhu?
Yeah, sort of what I started, and I stated this at the beginning actually of this course, is that Guru Tattva. So actually the science of Guru. And we wanted it, of course, to start science of Guru, okay, Prabhupada, and then be extended onto, now we know the science from the example of Prabhupada. Now, if you see anybody with these symptoms and this situation, that situation, you can know that, like Prabhupada teaches us the science of Krishna consciousness. So then there are other bona fide sampradayas that have bona fide leaders and gurus. So when we meet with somebody or deal with somebody that may not have the same organization or even the same guru as us, which obviously they won't and don't, so they don't know anything about Prabhupada or read anything or whatever, but they are dealing with knowing God, serving God, pleasing God. So we can see the parallels in the science of how we take Prabhupada and serve Prabhupada to serve Krishna, and then that relationship is going on. They have it there. So so it seems like that's contradiction what you just said, because it seems like we're being exclusive to only those who have Prabhupada and talk about Prabhupada. We can enjoy hearing from them, but can we meet somebody who's from another sampradaya, let's say, that is also following the science as we're dealing with Prabhupada, and they're getting revelation from Krishna and attachment to Krishna, and then they're talking about Krishna, and we're like, wow, very nice.
Such nice things you think about, Prabhu, all from all the different pillars. So that's why the whole process becomes so good, all these discussions, no? I love it, Prabhu. So I mean, automatically we'll go back to the scriptures again.
Because you understand, one of my main
Understand.
points in these discussions is to break away and not have sectarian thinking.
Yeah.
What that means. But
Of
just to
course.
get the science, and when we get the science, we can apply it across the board. Whether this person says he's a Prabhupada Nuga or ISKCON devotee, we don't care. The symptoms, the science, and then we can judge.
So because the query which you had posted was about this related to Srila Prabhupada, no? Maya is gone, not is gone, it was related to, and then this was about also exclusive shelter of Srila Prabhupada also. So, but if we go to your thought process now, that let's go to other sampradayas, when we meet other devotees, how do we deal? So, see, one is from the scripture, we can see directly in this 6th chapter, Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that here all Hari Bhakti Vilas has been organized for all the Vaishnavas. And all these principles, which are the 64, some of them are very important and prominent, and these are mentioned. So, but Srila Prabhupada says, Srila Rupa Goswami proposes to mention only basic principles, not details. For example, a basic principle is that one has to accept a spiritual master. Exactly how one follows the instructions of his spiritual master is considered detail. For example, if one is following the instruction of a spiritual master and that instruction is different from the instructions of another spiritual master, this is called detailed information. So the principles would be the same: accepting shelter, going to the deity, all these are the same. So, but the details are different. So now what happens is, when we are doing this shelter, taking the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, becoming initiated and all these, so what he's instructing is in the principles and the details as time, place, and circumstance are there. So the details of another bona fide spiritual master would or may be different, but the principles would be the same. So we can easily associate together on the same principles. And appreciation of another bona fide spiritual master's details, how he has implemented this, appreciating it, but but following our spiritual master's application and much more. Of course, any bona fide disciple of another bona fide guru will also, because A plus A equal to B, A equal to B, B equal to C means A equal to C. And that means one would easily understand what another devotee is saying. Pure devotee has given instruction, and I really appreciate it and see, okay, in that instance, that devotee has applied the principle like that. And in this instant, this pure devotee has applied this principle like that, and become really appreciative of both. But of course, because we have taken shelter of our spiritual master, then all those talks and things will be related to our spiritual master. A very good example is this devotee who is Badri, is, in the other discussion he comes. He is in the Sri Vaishnav Sampradaya, but that pure devotee there, they have been instructing him to hear from Srila Prabhupada, because they say out of the country he went and took the name of the Lord, and you should also read his books. And so he has accepted Srila Prabhupada as a Shiksha Guru, and he reads the book. And when I ask him who is your guru, he doesn't say Srila Prabhupada, he says this devotee, but that devotee is really, really nice. He only telling this Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya has come, you take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books and Hare Krishna mantra chanting. And because they are more focused on Pancaratriki Vidhi, especially in South Indian and South Indian Brahmanas, they are very easy to follow. So it is much more natural for them to do the Pancharatrika Vidhi process and become Krishna conscious, the deity worship and everything. So they are applying those deity worship principles, not like how Srila Prabhupada and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati has applied it within the Bhagavata process of our Sampradaya. They are applying it as kind of focused on that, that. So like that. I have experienced many times like this with other Sampradaya gurus. So some are not happy with Srila Prabhupada, that means they are not bona fide guru. Some are very happy and they incorporate, and they because they are appreciating with pure heart. Anyway. But
Can I ask you one more?
Yeah.
Now that
Out
you
of the
brought me,
country, Srila Prabhupada now is taking, like, even I was thinking of Prophet Muhammad and Lord Jesus. He's just taking it. They are also bona fide spiritual masters, and he's just taking it forward from there. So kind of little bit different, because he's kind of many times rejecting those even principles sometimes. Yes, Prabhu, please carry on.
yeah, sorry, because as you shared, my head seems to work a little bit differently. One controversial question
Yeah.
on this is, if we can see other groups and they may have other guru who, as you say, the base principles are the same, but detail may be different, and still we appreciate them. And, even one is reading Prabhupada's books. It was a great example, by the way. And, he's saying, no, okay, Prabhupada is my Shiksha Guru, but this is my Diksha Guru. If we take that model and move it into ISKCON as ISKCON is right now, and I'm not at all interested or focusing, I don't want us to focus on the so-called guru from the guru's point of view in ISKCON, but from the disciple point of view in ISKCON. So they, like me, because I was there, from 1995, I was fixed on Prabhupada, and then in 1997, I took initiation from a so-called guru in ISKCON, which he wasn't. But anyway, I took thinking he was going to be my guru, took initiation. Then 1 year later, kind of left him. But still, in all that time, my heart and intelligence and mind and dedication was to Prabhupada. This person coming into the picture as a so-called guru, Diksha Guru, in my particular life played a very small, insignificant role. But we see in ISKCON and others that the devotee, disciple himself is under a little bit of wrong impression, but he's thinking, okay, this is my guru, and Srila Prabhupada is my Shiksha Guru.
Yeah.
And in that dynamics, still absolutely coming from his so-called Diksha Guru and from Prabhupada, it still adds up to about 85, 90% Prabhupada Shiksha coming through to that disciple, and that disciple accepting that, having a good and strong relationship with Prabhupada, as well as this so-called Diksha. So it seems like it's working, even though there is this, I don't know what to call it, this tweak that needs to be adjusted, or some wrong that this person thinks he's the guru, this disciple thinks this is my guru, and Prabhupada is my Shiksha Guru. But still the process seems to be working. The purification is taking place, the attraction is taking place.
Like Gauranga Sundar Prabhu was saying, it is a Not a short, I mean, it's a long process. See, this is the problem, what is happening now in Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, is this taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada as one's guru. So what happens is, because one is taking shelter of another person who is not a pure devotee as one's Diksha Guru in practice also. See, it doesn't matter externally if they are saying this is my Diksha Guru. It matters in this way of, it is not correct philosophically and Srila Prabhupada instruction. So there is a there is a disobedience, and there is something Srila Prabhupada has written they are not doing, but that can be categorized as the movement has become like that, and such. And so let's just discount that for the time being for the disciples, because it's kind of not their fault that they landed up in a sense there. Of course, it is their fault, but let's not go there for the time being. Cheaters in the cheated kind of thing, no? Because many people don't go there, but let's not too much to delve into it. So externally, even there, they are saying Diksha Guru. Diksha Guru doesn't matter. What is in the practice? Because our point is of consciousness. No, the practice is that they take Srila Prabhupada as their one of the Shiksha Gurus, just like we take Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati as our Shiksha Guru. But we don't exclusively depend on him, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.
I would a little bit disagree with that, if I can just correct that, because as far me personally, and elders please express, my interaction with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is so small, actually. I would like it to be much more, but Prabhupada in my picture and in my service and knowledge and relationship with him is like 99, not even more, 99.5, and Bhaktisiddhanta is not even 0.5 in there, actually. But in the situation right now in ISKCON, they have somebody called the Diksha Guru, and he really plays, as I see the way physicality works, and the Vani and the reading and the book distribution. Everybody knows it's Prabhupada's dream, and that's the focus on Prabhupada is still about 80, 85%,
True, you're
whereas
correct.
their own Diksha Guru is about 15, which is
Sure.
pretty high, but
Of course,
still the predominant, absolutely the predominant Shiksha, and therefore, whether we like it or not,
yeah,
the science of the relationship is happening with Prabhupada.
sure. So
Just like, I mean, if we take that and then we see this Sri Sampradaya personality, and they have a bona fide line, a bona fide guru, and they appreciate Prabhupada and still going on forward. He's the Shiksha Guru, and going forward,
there is difference in that, but of course, so you're correct in saying, definitely, thank you for correcting me. It is not the same like us thinking of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, because we are not in Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's Gaudiya Mat, in a sense, where he has given all the instructions, and it is following all of those instructions. So definitely it is different, and point well taken. So now what happens is, this is the scriptural injunction is this, that one has to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Now let us say there is Srila Prabhupada for all these devotees. The problem is that because of thinking these devotees are their main gurus, and that comes out when you say who is your guru, they say somebody else, not Srila Prabhupada. More or less, it is like that. Even in their consciousness too. Many don't. Many in their consciousness think Srila Prabhupada is their main guru. Now, but most people think this devotee is my guru. Now, problem what happens is, that devotee is like we have seen many times, to try to be a guru, one has to bring the standard of guru lower, standard of Diksha Guru lower. So because of this, these instructions of taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada become, they become weak, or the faith, the strength in like accepting spiritual master as good as God, whatever he says, no doubt. How it is true rather than whether it is true. Criticizing, seeing him as a material person, as good as God. He's like God, like that we have to see. That whole thing has become corrupted because of this taking a material person who is not a pure devotee as one's Diksha Guru, the main Guru. And that's where, so when Srila Prabhupada says something on some subject or some instruction, it is, so two things are happening. One is the instruction is not taken as if God is speaking, Srila Prabhupada's instructions, and no doubt.
Prabhuji, can I just fight you on that?
Yeah,
I
sure.
just want to ask everybody here. Everybody, please, if you can just say if you have had some or a lot of interaction with devotees from ISKCON, because me personally, I'm just sharing with you honestly. If they said stuff like that, I would share that with you and say this is what they think. But these 4 or 5 that you've just mentioned, I have never ever heard it from anybody. I've never heard anybody criticize Prabhupada. Never anyone think of him as a material person. In fact, they all say he's a pure devotee, Mahabhagavat, blah, blah, blah. And what was the other 2? I haven't heard that. So you're stating that first, and then we're building our idea on that. But that itself, as far as I have seen and experienced, doesn't exist. Okay, absolutely. Maybe there with people you have dealt with, some GBC members, gurus, or whatever. But as a general mass of ISKCON population and members, I'm actually planning when I go next time to India, Mayapur, to use my phone and interview at least like 10 people every day, just to ask them, what's your relationship with Prabhupada? So we can get it recorded and we see how these devotees feel and say about Prabhupada, just to kind of get that clear. They're just random people. So I do plan to do. So if anyone out there has experiences with ISKCON members and they can give us the average devotee what they say and feel about Prabhupada, that would be very nice right now, because we have these 2 opposite views. Nimai Pandit Prabhu says this. I had never seen it or experienced it myself, so
I can give you many examples, like directly. Book changes, Ritwik issue, poison issue.
okay.
I can go to
Wait.
many other
No.
things.
Okay, wait. Now, see, this is maybe where we're always wrong. You are dealing with 5 people, 20 people, 50 people. We're talking about 2 million people now in ISKCON. So we can't say what 5 people do or did, like Jayadvaita Swami and his team, led by him, doing with the book changes, means every single member of ISKCON is wanting and agreeing and says, hooray, let's change Prabhupada's books. Yes, we change Prabhupada's books. We can't take that and say that's, people in my leadership behave in a certain way, do certain things. I certainly don't want to be known as I'm like him, think like him, act like him when I'm not. So we can't take that. There are many things done and said by high level leadership in ISKCON. But
I understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
Interject.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I understand what you're saying, but the point is, Prabhu, that why I took those 3 issues to illustrate that how much of, like, if somebody is not feeling like that, then one would say and do some things to oppose that, no, within one's own like to one's guru, to all these people. There is, like, book changes, I feel many devotees bring it up, that how can you think Srila Prabhupada is not perfect, that he gave us the perfect thing. Why do you need to go ahead and try to come up with this thinking within all of us that there is something wrong with it? So it doesn't matter whether it is as a writer or as the BBT trustee and chairman. He set up the process, he gave us the books, and we just, no, see, this is perfect, no, for us.
Yeah, but
So
still you're
that's
not understanding me,
so my
because
point, no, my point is that devotees, why are they not protesting enough? That is the point, no? That if one is
Okay, that's your question.
shelter, that
Why
is
are they not
shelter.
protesting enough?
It will automatically, like, if one is taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada, really, like
Yeah.
the extent which a disciple would take shelter, they they would not like it, no?
Okay.
Independently thoughtful people are there, no? Devotees
Okay.
are
Well, so that's
similarly
so
poisoned.
the first step of anything like the point you just mentioned would be first they have to be convinced that the books had been changed. They have to be convinced that Prabhupada was poisoned. They have to be convinced about the Ritvik exchange.
Why these are
When
the
they have that,
why I took these three things are they are public. See, their public knowledge enough decimated. Second,
no,
eh,
no, no, no.
it is enough decimated,
No,
Prabhu,
no, no, no.
the
You know,
internet.
that's sorry, that's your opinion, and that's fine.
Maybe
But
Prabhu, maybe if if a devotee has just joined the temple or like that. Otherwise,
no,
people,
no.
I know even 25 years back, when the brahmacharis were joining, they were reading on the internet. 25 years back, that time VNN and all these were there. New people were looking in the internet, like young people. I'm preaching in the street. They go on the internet, and when I next meet them, they say, "What is this? All these issues are going on."
Okay. Personally, for me, 3 years later, I came across the July 9th letter. And that's only because Krishna arranged Harikesh fell down. If that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have come across the July 9th letter. So thankfully for that. And just to give you an example of this, who is the leader of ESKEM, Malaysia, Singapore? What's his name?
Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Sundar Gopal Prabhu made a video. I'm not sure how old it was, but it came just to me as they often do in YouTube. And he stated that yes, we continue to follow the system. We accepted the gurus after Prabhupada because we were just so focused that Prabhupada said the GBC is his
That was 50
leadership
years back,
after,
Prabhu.
huh?
That was 50 years back. Now it is so
What was 50
internet,
years back?
internet fully, these three issues are fully
Wait,
disseminated.
let me finish. Okay. So he said himself that we follow and we accepted because we thought the GBC was leading according to what Prabhupada said. So on his as an example, also me as an example, I'm sure there are many that there are many in ISKCON right now that just think, oh, this Ritvik stuff closed. This is this poisoning stuff closed. Whatever else is closed, and they're just really thinking
That's my point,
this.
no? Prabhu. That's exactly my point, no? They are accepting somebody as like
Yeah, but the
their
base of
guru,
that,
their guru.
is still Prabhupada because they think Prabhupada told the GBC to do like this, and that's why we're doing.
So you
You
basically
see,
say you basically say they're not intelligent enough or they don't have the information. That's why.
I don't know if I would say that because Madhu Pandit Prabhu also took initiation from Jayapataka Maharaj.
These
So
were all like long time back. Now everything is so disseminated.
within ISKCON, people are
Oh,
so busy,
internet is
devotees.
full, Prabhu, internet is open to anyone.
Yeah, you
Within
can. That's
ISKCON,
look.
ISKCON.
We can say that, and that's fine. Let's not argue about that. We can say that a lot more information is out there, but you have to understand, as I have seen, the mentality within ISKCON and ISKCON members is Riddick closed. It's closed
Why?
case.
Yeah,
Why?
but
They're
this
just
means
wait.
you're
Okay,
not intelligent.
okay. You can say what you're saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm actually creating, trying to be on a positive, giving them an excuse for their position rather than saying they're nonsense or they're this or this. Is that you know, it's our position to try to slowly open their ear, open their heart, open their mouth so they can hear this more clearly, more objectively from us. Because right now within ISKCON, they're just given this. Don't open the door to this topic. Don't open the door to this topic. And then they're just busy with their deity worship, temple opening, book
Oh,
distribution.
there is no
And they
excuse.
go,
There is no excuse. You want this is Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, no, you have to accept the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. There is devotional service is not there. It is going on little on a like how to say it pseudo level. Plus, as you are saying, he is a shiksha guru for them. So they are following to a level because of which they are feeling some purification from Srila Prabhupada and Krishna in the heart.
can you say that again clearly? Because you're a little bit didn't say it clearly.
They are feeling getting some purification, no doubt. because chanting, deity, everything is purifying, and we heard that even initiation is not required for chanting. The problem is that to get to the stage of asakti, get to the stage of actually nishtha platform, getting fixed, that may be possible with this stage. But to go beyond that and really start getting more and more Krishna in the heart, getting to the asakti level, that is like, bro, without the spiritual master's blessing, how is it going, bona fide spiritual master blessing? How do you get to asakti level?
Or maybe he's given the blessing.
Balram Prabhu. Yeah,
No,
just you
Why
once
why
again,
shouldn't why okay,
sorry, Leo Prabhu
what
and sorry, Padyam Rao,
yeah
exactly this point, no, when you maybe
why shouldn't Prabhupada give the blessing to somebody who is in some illusion about who his guru is, but still he's serving the instruction of Prabhupada? Why Prabhupada would not give his blessing?
so this exact point, no, why I say that this is that we need to have Shastra Chakshusha. There is no way around it. We have to go by, we can't just kind of like project something or trying to understand what Srila Prabhupada will be thinking. We have to go by what Prabhupada writes. It is what he's saying. This is what he thinks. Why do we think something else other than what he has already written and executed? That's where the sentimentalism and Sahajism and all these directions come. How can we think we are thinking like this about Prabhupada and we project it that this is what he will, this is what he has written, and not one
Okay.
place, many places, lectures, conversations, everywhere.
So if we see that devotees in ISKCON are being empowered, their preaching is being successful, they're making devotees attractive, a lot more than me in most cases. I don't have anything anyway as far as potency to preach or blah blah blah, and they're going forward. I clearly see the blessings of Prabhupada, the empowerment of Prabhupada. Still, it's not as he would like it. It's not 100% or whatever. And unfortunately, there's this tweak in the system. These want to be gurus and they're thinking this is correct. But still, if you can answer me, that Prabhupada is giving his blessings. If he's not giving his blessings, there's no way any one of them would becoming more attracted to reading Bhagavatam, serving Krishna, and moving forward in spiritual life. That wouldn't be happening. Actually, they should all be leaving, no? They should be all be leaving and going back to material life, no?
You have to go by scriptures. So from that we see that all the acharyas, Krishna, there is always blessings. Their blessings are like samsara dhava lovely the loka. They're always giving blessings. It's we who are not able to pick up. Now, as the bona fide spiritual master, when we accept him as a bona fide spiritual master, we get his full blessing. Full blessing meaning in terms of protection, guidance from the heart into pure devotional service. Doesn't mean that when we are performing mixed devotional service, then we will not get blessing. But blessings meaning for pure devotional service and blessings for mixed devotional service or even for material desires, like Lord Shiva gives material desires also he blessings. That doesn't mean that it is a pure devotional service, So many devotees when they're preaching and they're making devotees, I want to see how many of them are coming to the pure devotional platform. I'm not saying pure devotee, pure devotional platform.
Okay.
Pure devotional platform is only possible when one takes a pure devotee as one's guru, like main guru, the bona fide spiritual master, guru, padasraya. The philosophically, we can't take the externally what is happening and change what is there written by Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas. We have to accept that the pure devotional service is not possible if one doesn't take the bona fide spiritual master as one's guru, because it is written like that. That means our seeing and understanding is defective. That means the people they are bringing will not be coming on the platform of pure devotional platform. It is our externally we are seeing they are getting very enthusiastic, all these things because of also, I mean, See, you're laughing, no, like this. But
No, sorry.
point is that you have to show, maybe I'm completely wrong. Okay. You have to show, but in the scriptures, what the acharyas are writing, Srila Prabhupada is writing, to show that is not the, the blessings which is really desired. Meaning, one can preach, like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is saying, Srila Prabhupada says that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he left, at the end, he was disgusted and he left early because he was thinking there are so many neophyte devotees increasing. That doesn't mean it was not his blessings that neophyte devotee, he was the spiritual master right there present. So many devotees are preaching and making many hundreds and thousands of devotees, temples were coming up. But he was not happy with it himself, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And Srila Prabhupada said he left early because so many neophytes were coming out. So pure devotional platform is different, Prabhu. From just devotees. Devotees can come out many places, including other sampradayas also preaching in India. Srila Prabhupada's potency is there. By chanting is the most potent thing. People become devotees. But to get to pure devotional platform and then be really empowered to change the world, it's impossible. I'm saying from the eyes of the scriptures like that. If you see that my seeing is defective, I would really like devotees to show me. Can we go to Leo Prabhu is with his hand up for a long time? And then please, Param Prabhu, please come back. Huh? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Dandavas Pranams. Of course, to Srila Prabhupada. So, just going, there's a lot that unfolded since I put my hand up for the initial response, but it was just the main thing I would say is the whole living guru dilemma. That would be where I could state that. And every time it's stated, I just want to grind my teeth. But I guess the proper Vaishnava etiquette I'm trying to follow is just, equip it with Shastra and everything I'm learning here in Guru Tattva discussion. So that would be I guess the main one of the main dilemmas. And also it just everything, as Nimai Prabhu was saying, everything is online. So it's funny enough, everybody that's in a congregation, they have come across ISKM, they come across ISKCON Bangalore. ISKCON Bangalore, the algorithm is crazy right now, so it's everywhere. It's circulating so much of the content by Krishna's mercy. So that as well is going on. And you could say that it's just everybody's getting bits and pieces and everybody's kind of hesitant. Me, I take more of the position as every time I go inside a ISKCON temple as loyal opposition. That's something that I've stated before, and that's just how I have to keep going, as I feel like that's the proper way. As I feel there are other people, as other devotees as well, that are doing it, and try engage, but it's just there is contamination, I would say. So that's another thing to always look into. So I just wanted to share that. There's so much that was said. It's just I have so much other things to say, but I don't want to. I know there's other people who want to elaborate more. Hare Krishna.
Balaram Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Audible?
You're saying Balaram or Nimai?
Balaram Prabhu. So I was saying that you were you were telling that that these issues they do not know. They do not been educated by anybody, but they generally justify that that poisoning or book changing. First thing. Second thing, you are telling that if we have to educate them, we have to tell them. But no, as you remember when we last time in Gaur Purnima in Prabhupada Samadhi, we were talking to a devotee, was saying, Prabhuji, I don't want to talk on this topic. So the thing is that we cannot how we will tease them. They do not they are being educated. Everybody is saying that everybody is on internet and they are justifying it, and that is also an offense to Srila Prabhupada. The second thing, how will we educate them? You are an exceptional case that you got the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, then somehow you pray to Gaurang Mahaprabhu and somehow you, but in general we cannot expect that everybody will, how will educate them? That is the point.
Yeah, how we will educate them is actually another question. It's not really what we're dealing with now. What we're just saying, what we're really dealing with is the Guru Tattva, which is the position of Srila Prabhupada, that when Srila Prabhupada has this devotee in the Sri Sampradaya and he's reading his books and following his instructions to some degree and has his own other Diksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada are we saying Srila Prabhupada sitting there and say, yeah, I'm not going to give you anything because you have another Diksha Guru. You don't accept me as your Diksha Guru. You don't accept me as good as God. Or you have some doubt in what I say. You prefer what your Guru says. You supersede what I say with what your Guru says. A full wall, Because you see, in ISKCON, that's what I'm saying. And I'm seeing that in ISKCON, even now, with all the nonsense that's there also, 80%, 85% minimum of the shiksha and of the instruction that the devotees are actually following daily is from Prabhupada, is Prabhupada's instruction. Even most of the stuff that comes through their guru is still Prabhupada. So I do not see Srila Prabhupada not reciprocating with them or telling them, see you in next life, and maybe the fifth life after that when you come and accept me or
How
blah,
do
blah,
you
blah.
bring up? I understand what you're saying, Prabhu, but let us say, how do you,
Wait, sorry,
how
let me
should
just
we
finish.
see it
Okay,
from the
okay.
eyes of the
Let's
scriptures?
okay, 1 minute. So let's just finish. So then this point of the information is all out there. Fantastic. Okay, this is much better than 30 years ago and 40 years ago when nothing was out there. So we've got the information out there. But still there's another huge wall and step. Is now, are these people reading it? Are these devotees reading it? Did they read it? Could they read it objectively with no other influence and say, okay, I've read it. My conclusion is this. And I walk that path. Most times, the full-time members of ISKCON and those associated with ISKCON don't have that position because there is a heavy propaganda, we know it, or we should know, coming from the authorities at the top who want to keep this system so that they can be gurus
That's
in the
the point
future.
now. Prabhu, that's
So
the point
with
now.
okay, wait. So with this propaganda, most full-time temple devotees definitely they get the strongest form of the propaganda. Then it's given to their layers and layers of next devotees. That they're basically already told, okay, Ritvik off limits because of this, because of that, off limits. Poison issue off limits. Whatever else off limits. So it's not. They have heard about it. Devotees do know, but they're already closed to the idea. They don't go into it. Okay, let me read this stuff. Let me read what they say, the other side say, and they say. Rare is that kind of devotees. They're like so into their sectarian group, let's say, actually, that
Prabhu,
they have been.
can we not keep going on? We understand what they are doing. The point is that that's the whole.
No, but
Which
then the
Guru?
real question then for us is not for us to judge them
It
and
is.
like you do, they're all Maya ISKCON, is what is the Guru, Srila Prabhupada? How is he dealing with those devotees? That's part of the main Guru Tattva that I also want to
Whatever
understand.
you say, 100 things, 50,000 things you say, finally we have to, in my mind, I only see Srila Prabhupada writing that, which Srila Rupa Goswami writing, Guru Padasraya. One has to take the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Now, taking shelter, what does taking shelter mean? He explains it that he is to see him as equal to God. Now,
Shelter,
once
taking shelter means following his instructions. No?
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking shelter of Prabhupada. I'm trying to
When you
follow his
say following
instructions.
the instructions, but which scripture are you thinking when you say following is taking shelter?
What do you mean, which instructions? Which
Yeah, I
scripture?
mean,
Everywhere Srila
anything-
Prabhupada is writing in his books.
So tell me where you are taking the taking shelter means following his instruction. That doesn't mean taking shelter.
Bhagavad Gita, what's the basic one? Bhagavad Gita 3.34 or 43?
4.34.
Yeah.
That is not the stage which Srila Rupa Goswami is explaining. That is the initiation stage, the next stage, taking initiation.
I didn't know we were talking about different stages. You asked me,
There
where
are
is it stated that taking shelter means following instructions of the spiritual master?
right, exactly.
So
No,
that's there.
it's not taking shelter, no, Prabhu.
Of
Shelter
course
is
it's taking
explained by
shelter.
Srila Rupa Goswami, no? What is padasraya, Guru Pradasraya? Then the next stage, Srila Rupa Goswami says, one takes shelter, then one takes initiation. The how one takes initiation is explained by 434. See, taking shelter means to accept him as good as God. He's explaining that in the Nectar of Devotion. So
Okay.
our mind should go in that, no? If one is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, what is it? Devi
So
Esha-
just let me say this to you. In ISKCON, any person there who says Srila Prabhupada is as good as God, then he's good. He's correctly positioned. Yes?
that is one aspect. That's very good.
Okay. Okay.
Same meaning also the symptoms you asked, no, that day. Symptoms we just went through. If he still has doubt, he says, but he still has doubts. Oh, I think this one is.
Yeah, but my main fight with you is why you put a blanket sentence on ISKCON people, Maya ISKCON, when we shouldn't do that. We should know the science and apply the science to each person individually.
Exactly. That is very true.
Yeah, so
don't doubt
if we
that.
say Maya ISKCON, let's say Maya Prabhupada Nugas,
Because
because the same things will be there.
Oh,
They're
because
just externally by name, or I'm a Prabhupada Nuga. I say that I'm a Prabhupada Nuga, but I'm also nonsense.
no,
But you think I'm some higher devotee better than them.
the
But they
reason
do.
why I'm calling Maya ISKCON is because of the leadership policies, leadership and policies that makes.
Then say Maya leadership.
No, Prabhu, we have gone through this. I don't want to relitigate this whole thing that leadership makes that organization. You can't, you are just going as like all philosophy, like it's not correct. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Devi Esha Gunmami Mama Maya Durataya Mam Evye Prapadyante. Alone, you surrender to me alone. He's not saying 85%. So which surrendering to him means surrendering to a bona fide spiritual master. It's not 85%, no. If 15% you're surrendering, so that much reciprocation will be there, no? So pure devotional platforms remains like that. So more and more devotees individually, because of taking shelter of the holy name, because of their own individually, they are keeping aloof from this bad association, and they start to understand, take shelter of the Srila Prabhupada books, the deities, Sankirtan. Then many times I see devotees come out of that bad association and start taking full shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Then the science acts like that. Like Srila Prabhupada is also going to like reveal the knowledge in the heart then, and they become more empowered on the pure devotional platform. So that science is science. But if one is doing 85%, then it's like that. No. And what happens is not just 85% problem is that because of this, because there's envy to Srila Prabhupada, so one is kind of goes negative in taking shelter. One starts to harbor these envious feelings for Srila Prabhupada. And that's where the problem really happens, when it's not just a question of half taking shelter or 85% taking shelter. One goes into the offensive stage, and then it becomes even worse, more and more. Anyway, Prabhu, we continue. But I think if we, Prabhu, I think I really deeply feel that we need to go through. Yeah, Prabhu is not even here. The scripture. Shall we continue on the?
Yeah. Yeah, Prabhu,
Yeah.
yeah. I want to ask that. Yeah, I forgot the question, so I will just remember again.
Let's go back to SB. Seven, 5.
Yeah, yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Balram Prabhu was saying that same thing they are also doing, reading. But just like an example, I'm reading the 26 qualities of a pure devotee. So they are thinking to another person like a conditioned soul or guru, and another person who are following a pure devotee, they are thinking of Srila Prabhupada. So that also make difference. No? Reading is the same thing, but he's thinking the picture of that. No? He is the pure devotee, he is the quality, and then he is making the standards down. Okay, that means he is very merciful. That is also, that makes also difference, that thinking.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's all ashastrik. No, like it's like a whole. Um, there is Srila Prabhupada talks about that. Um, I'm forgetting now. It just came in my consciousness and then it disappeared.
Yeah, shall I repeat you, Balram Prabhu?
Yeah.
Balram Prabhu, yeah. I was saying that na, just like we are also reading, and you are telling that in the ISKCON they are also reading. So just like we are reading the 26 qualities of a pure devotee. So when you are reading, you are thinking of Srila Prabhupada. Oh, he is so merciful like this, and another person he is thinking about another conditioned soul, that is the meaning of mercy. Then he is bringing the down of the standard of that mercy or those quality standards of guru. So that reading is the same thing, same activity, but the consciousness, thinking, feeling, that make difference. Balram.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I don't know everyone's head. And when they're reading those qualities, are they thinking about Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, or Srila Prabhupada, or their own? I don't know who they're reading. Most of the, I would think, I'm guessing, that these days with the amount of scandals and information that's coming out about gurus and gurus fall down, that the focus on gurus as pure devotees is diminishing. Thank God, and Krishna's doing that. But if they are thinking of Prabhupada, if they are thinking of Bhaktisiddhanta, or even if they're not, in their service to Prabhupada, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are accepting that service, right? I mean, we do know that all this philosophy that we're reading and studying and practicing is to bring us to devotional service, to serve.
Pure devotional service, not just serve.
Yeah. No, for me, it's not pure, but I know, but by doing whatever service I can do now, gradually, hopefully, by Prabhupada's mercy,
What's the
he will
aim?
somehow he will make it pure, right? And that's surely.
Aim, if we don't start with the aim, then what's the thing? We don't even know where we are planning to go.
I
Then
don't know what you're
what's the
talking about,
reason?
Prabhuji. Of course, the aim is pure devotional service.
Fine. Because the reason why I'm saying is that because 135, right in the first statement, first sentence, that is where it is distinguishing between, see, 135, first sentence.
No, can I just finish answering Pradyumna Prabhu?
Yeah. But this is the thing. No? Sri Jiva Goswami in his thesis Bhakti Sandarbha 202 has stated that uncontaminated devotional service is the objective of pure Vaishnavas. That one has to execute such service in the association of other devotees.
I think we've read this about 100 times.
Exactly. So this is the point, no? That if somebody we start there, this is the goal, And this is where one has to focus one's attention, even if theoretically. Then, with that desire in the mind, then one also will, Krishna will also guide one to the right guru. If one is closing one's eyes, not reading this thing, accepting these people, one knows that it is, they don't want uncontaminated devotion service. So Krishna is also not guiding them.
Okay. I'm really sorry because as
Yes,
usual,
completed.
I have the biggest proof is my own example that I lived at. I came into ISKCON by Prabhupada, joined ISKCON, was there with whatever they said, did eventually, blah, blah, blah. And still I was with Prabhupada all the time, and I'm now more with Prabhupada than ever before. So if it happened to me, and never at any point did I ever feel disrespectful to Prabhupada, against Prabhupada, hated Prabhupada, didn't like Prabhupada, anything like that. No. My whole life has just been increasing to Prabhupada right up to this day, and it's just increasing. So back to what Pradyumna Prabhu asked me is, we're reading the books and they're reading the books, right? Okay, so I see that the result of some of the devotees reading, most of the devotees reading, they go out and serve Prabhupada's mission. Distribute the books, make devotees, make temples, blah, blah, blah. Throughout our books, throughout Srila Prabhupada's books, he's taught me anyway, maybe I'm wrong, correct me, is we judge a tree by the fruit. So we can see that if by the fruit of their listening, they come to distribute Prabhupada's books, make devotees, attract others to chant Hare Krishna. You know, I mean, if I
Just like they are distributing other books also. Just like I will never distribute other any other book. Na? They are distributing now. They are introducing so many other books na, in that library, in that ISKCON, and they are distributing that also. So
Yeah.
there is some difference will be always there.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely, there's a huge difference. I mean, those who accept Prabhupada as their Diksha Guru directly, let's say like that, of course there's a big difference, right? Or they have a possibility for a big difference. But still there's the question is, okay, I'm here. I accept Srila Prabhupada as my Diksha Guru and no one else, right? I could be just on an ego trip. I don't want to have any other authority. I want to do what I like. Prabhupada's not here, so I can do. So now what should be the symptom? What should be the manifested symptoms that you should see of me as a Prabhupada disciple? Right? And as Nimai Pandit Prabhu gave us this list, blah, blah, blah. But I see that in them also, I see a lot of talking about Prabhupada, appreciation of Prabhupada, even getting emotional about Prabhupada, and they never met Prabhupada. They're just reading Prabhupada's books and through serving, you have to understand, chanting 16 rounds is Prabhupada's desire, Prabhupada's instruction. Waking up early for Mangalari, attending Mangalari is Prabhupada's instruction. Right, so
we are chanting. We always play that Srila Prabhupada japa box. So generally, when we play, they will block the thing. So the thing is that it is not the 0 and 100. They are also getting that what we call punyas and all the things. But the thing is that uncontaminated devotion, highest thing that we are discussing. For that Srila Prabhupada, that thing.
Yeah, Nimai Pandit Prabhu is trying to teach us and show us that unless you accept Srila Prabhupada as exclusively your only spiritual master, but there has to be much more than that.
Not only spiritual master.
Blah, blah, blah. To come, now a completely different topic. Now topic is to come to the level of pure devotional service. That is completely dependent on...
That's the only topic, no? Otherwise, what is the Guru Tattva? Why are we here? If we don't know...
No, Prabhuji, that's not the only topic. That may be the only topic for you. The topic for me is
I don't know why one is here. That's my point, no? See, in ISKCON, if this is not the main topic of discussion, pure devotion service, then this is not what Srila Prabhupada is after, no? Srila Prabhupada is after pure devotion. Our parampara is only about pure devotion service.
No, it's not only about that. Yes, we can say that is the ultimate objective, absolutely. But
ultimate, that is the main objective. It's not
Prabhuji,
different objectives. Then
No, there are, okay, why are we fighting about basic, simple stuff that we all understand? Prabhupada's giving Varnashram. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected Varnashram as external. Why is Prabhupada dealing with Varnashram? Because he sees it as a necessity for the masses to make slow, incremental, progressive
to pure
steps
devotional service.
towards pure devotional service.
Exactly. So that's what should be
But that's not the aim. That's the aim. But Varnashram system is not the aim. It's a supportive, it's a crutch to achieve that. So he's dealing with Varnashram, right?
But the aim is there, no, in the mindset.
Yeah, that's the aim of everybody. Yeah.
Right.
How do I know what the hell is the aim of you? You know, are you really interested in pure devotional soul? You just want to get to the heavenly planets. That's each person's own consciousness, right? And desire.
Not get a bona fide spiritual master if one is not desiring one. Prabhu, that's the whole thing. Otherwise, what is the meaning of cheaters and the cheated?
Prabhuji. Okay.
One is
Srila
not
Prabhupada comes to us even though we do not desire him. Not? Yes or no?
He is coming for the whole world.
Thank you. Okay.
We have to accept him, no?
Even when we don't accept him, we partially accept or whatever.
All sahajiism, Prabhu. This is all sentimentalism that you come up with.
Don't let me say some bad words to you, Nimai Pandit Prabhu. I have my own directly Srila Prabhupada dealing with me. I have that as my heaviest proof.
Scriptural.
Yeah. You're lawyer, you come with scripture.
Prabhu, this is
I know how Prabhupada is dealing with me directly.
When you say that, okay, when I agree that Srila Prabhupada is dealing with you. Now, the problem is with this, that you're basing absolute truth on your own personal experience.
No, not true. See, again, you speculate. So many times.
Okay, tell me then how it is different than what I just said to you just now.
Tell you what?
When you say my main proof is that how he's dealing with me, isn't that basing absolute truth on your personal experience?
When I say how Prabhupada is dealing with me, where is that from?
Your own experience, no?
No.
That's what
that's me reading Prabhupada's books every day, and he's giving instruction, he's giving correction, he's doing this, he's doing this. So many ways that Prabhupada is dealing with me. But the first step of that dealing was he came to me when I had absolutely no desire for any leader, any God, any religious sentiment. So if he came to me like that, hello, I'm not some special, he will come to he can come to anyone.
About a relationship, no? Srila Prabhupada is coming and saying, hey, have a relationship with Krishna, have a relationship with me, to the whole world.
Yes.
Point is that we have to accept that relationship. There is a two.
Of course.
And we won't accept Srila Prabhupada as our spiritual master if we don't want pure devotional service. Because he is very strict. He wants everyone to come to pure devotional platform. That's what he is trying to get to. Acharyas, they want. Now, why if Srila Prabhupada is there in ISKCON, you see he's sitting right there, his books are there. Why someone would not want him as one's spiritual master, one guide, main guide? Why?
Who said they're not? Who said they're not? And who said Prabhupada isn't actually being their main guide, which is what I'm stating from day one.
It's a scriptural thing that without one is not, meaning how from the scriptures we go, no? We can't project what is in Srila Prabhupada's mind. We have to go by what he has written to understand what he is thinking, not by just mentally something project on Srila Prabhupada's, this thing. So from the scriptures, we understand that one has to take shelter, and the shelter, there are symptoms given. Those symptoms, if they don't match, that means they are not taken shelter. And that's why when you asked me...
That's your logic, Nimai Prabhu.
When you say my logic, you explain to me how it is my logic and it is not based on Nectar of Devotion, 7th chapter, 1st page, on how to take shelter. How else one would take shelter of Srila Prabhupada other than what he has written in Nectar of Devotion, 1st chapter? 1st page.
Okay, 1965. How did devotees take shelter of Prabhupada? And how did Prabhupada reciprocate with giving them shelter?
1970, you can't discount You have to go by the scriptures, no, Prabhu. This is the problem.
I'm talking to you from scripture.
From the scripture.
Okay, I'm asking you, in 1965, how did Prabhupada give shelter and how did devotees take shelter?
Okay, let's go one by one how they were doing it. Okay. My dear king, a disciple has to accept the spiritual master, not only a spiritual master, but also as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Super Soul. In other words, the disciple should accept the spiritual master as God because he's the external manifestation of Krishna. Now, this they may not know philosophically.
Thank you very much.
But it is not a question of philosophically, Prabhu. This is an attitude.
Exactly.
Attitude is that whatever Srila Prabhupada says is 100% correct.
Exactly.
Because there is no question of addition, subtraction, doubt, anything, because God is perfect. So this is why we have to treat spiritual.
And practically everyone I know in ISKCON, that I know in ISKCON, sees Prabhupada in this light.
It's wrong, no? Because symptoms are there, no? Just like when talking about the book changes, about the guru thing, so many things when Srila Prabhupada says, people discount it. The gurus discount it and devotees
Okay.
benefit.
Put that aside. Put those
Why?
aside. No. Why?
Why
Put
should
those
we-
aside. We're dealing with scripture. So put them aside. Now, I just said to you, and you immediately want to throw this out of the window. Most ISKCON, okay, let's say, if we find any devotee in ISKCON, any, that see Prabhupada in this way, accept him and worship him as good as God, accept his word as good as God, then they're correctly positioned, correct?
One aspect of it.
Thank you. Okay, okay, good. Let's move on to the next one. What's the next aspect?
To go by symptoms, no? So,
Okay.
and then the second is to learn.
No, see, the problem is you're making this symptom, this projection, that because they don't have the same position and don't stand up and fight for book changes, guru position, and poisoning
Examples,
issue, it
examples
means
given.
yeah, but this is your projection. If we
Symptom
read the
examples.
text,
Okay, come up with other symptoms. I can come up with many more symptoms, Prabhu.
Okay, but leaving those three
Which symptoms
things,
would you be agreeable? No, why?
no. Prabhuji, let's say screw
which
the symptoms.
will be?
Nimai Prabhu,
How
you
can
just
we
said
symptoms?
scripture. You just said scripture. And you said if anyone accept Prabhupada as good as God,
Yeah.
and his word is absolute as good as God, they tick the box. Okay. I've everyone in ISKCON that I've met has this position concerning
As soon as you say
Prabhupada.
I have met, that means
Yeah.
you're talking of symptoms, right? How else would you like meet, meaning whoosh, like you get electricity shock inside the mind? Or like how you also experience some symptoms, no? Because of which you are saying this is they're accepting.
One more point, just like he said in ISKCON also they are accepting, but that is also being shared by others also, no? Just like with a conditioned soul, they are thinking that he's also a pure devotee. So that thing is also lacking. Just like we are seeing that Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Okay, but they are thinking that this Maharaj, that Maharaj, they are also pure devotee. So that is the lacking thing. No?
Yes. How they think about their Guru Maharaj and this Guru Maharaj, next Guru Maharaj. Okay, let's throw that out of the window also. Let's just deal with how, and which is kind of what the Guru Tattva is, how they see Srila Prabhupada, and more important for us on this topic of Guru Tattva, is how is Srila Prabhupada dealing with them? Is he reciprocating with them?
You see, I don't know why you want to go into Srila Prabhupada's mind.
I don't go into Srila Prabhupada's mind. This is his character.
This is his dealing. This is how he's dealing. He's written.
Name, form, pastimes, and activities of Krishna. Name, form, and activities and pastimes of Prabhupada. This is his character, and this is what we're trying to get to know in Guru Tattva. This is what I came for, to get to know the personality Prabhupada.
But it has to not be. It has to be tethered to what he has written, words.
Yeah, you're correct.
Not from mental projection. No.
Yes, correct.
So This is what he has
When,
written.
when,
This is
please
what
don't say mental projection, okay?
it is a mental
Let,
projection to say, Prabhu. Many times I see you do mental projections of how Srila Prabhupada. I think
that's your
Srila
mental
Prabhupada is-
projection. That's
I
your
think
mental projection that I'm mental
Prabhu,
projection.
here,
What I'm saying to you is how Srila Prabhupada is dealing with me, reciprocating with me. Right? You have your Prabhupada, Prabhupada is reciprocating with you, and he's telling you,
there are three ways
spend
we
20 years to open
acknowledge.
this court case, spend so much money. Many other devotees would not do that. So that's your personal reciprocation with Prabhupada guiding you, right?
So for that, but this is not absolute truth. I cannot, when we talk about absolute truth, that this is how he's dealing with devotees, I can't say it is because of my experience. I will think Srila Prabhupada is dealing that with all the devotees, or this is how Srila Prabhupada is supposed to act, or this is the absolute truth, this is how a spiritual master acts. I can't project that into his consciousness just because it's happening with me.
I don't know. No, but what we want from you and this is why we read the pastimes of Krishna, and specifically Srimad Bhagavatam, as Vyasadeva said, I've read all the Vedas, put together all the Vedas, but something is missing. What's missing? The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, specifically in relationship and dealings with his devotees, so we can see how Krishna is dealing with his devotees. And exactly the same now applies to us with Prabhupada. We want to get to know Prabhupada. We want to love Prabhupada more, have more attachment to him, or think of him 24 hours a day, which means basically be in love with him in that kind of relationship way. So if you believe, and then if I have faith in you, that Srila Prabhupada dealt with you like this in this situation. So that is one aspect of Prabhupada dealing with a devotee that I may not have experienced and never heard before. I can hear that from you, take that and know that's part of Prabhupada's character, if I have faith that what you say is true. So Srila Prabhupada is dealing with Madhu
Very good.
Pandit
Let me,
Prabhu.
can I read? This is,
Yeah.
I think this is the root issue. If I can a little bit elaborate on it, bro, that the absolute truth is true in all time, all circumstances, all people, all situations. Krishna is God. Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Krishna is in 6 features. Holy name in Kali Yuga, especially, otherwise also he's non-different, but in Kali Yuga he is incarnated as whole Krishna. These are absolute truths. They don't depend on dealings with Krishna and devotees, dealings of this devotee with Krishna, nothing. They are truths. How they are truths? Because they are stated in the scriptures. They are truths. As such, they are stated as such as they are truths. Now, when we come to more details, let's say how Krishna applies, or the spiritual master applies the reciprocation with one individual in one's time and place, the the absolute truth remains throughout, even while those dealings are going on. It is just takes a different facet or different feature or different thing in a more enjoyable manner, or a more nuanced manner of seeing or experiencing the same exact absolute truth, which is always existing, irrespective of anything what goes on with anybody. So coming to our situation here, when we try to understand Srila Prabhupada as an absolute truth, when we say how is Srila Prabhupada's character, we have to see from the eyes of the scriptures how a pure devotee's character is, which is given in Bhagavad Gita, in Nectar of Devotion. So many chapters are dealing with the symptoms of a pure devotee, a devotee in ecstasy, how pure devotees deal with Krishna. Those are scriptural references given, and the qualities are given by Srila Rupa Goswami. That is how we know Srila Prabhupada, primarily, because those are absolute truths. That is how we can understand by hearing only. We don't even need to see what Srila Prabhupada did with individuals, with me, nothing. Because these are true for all time, place, and pure devotees are like that. All pure devotees. Now, some pure devotees will have different characteristics, which is very tough to distinguish till we are at at least ruchi, we are asakti level, that we start to get attached spiritually to different features, different aspects of this difference in pure devotee, where our original relationship with Krishna, original Swarupa is coming out. That time the distinguishing becomes more pronounced and more, more enjoyable and more really selective in nature. At this stage, we are asked, let's say Krishna, all Krishna is same for us, whether he's in Vrindavan or Mathura or Dwarka. Srila Prabhupada is same exact in any place, whether childhood or this or pastime or passing away or even now, everything is the same. Gradually, then I see many devotees, when they get more attached, then they start distinguishing. Now, when it comes to understanding through his dealings with different devotees, those are, when we do that, then scripturally all these all the pure devotees relationships and qualities, they remain as it is, absolute truth. Now, when he deals with some devotee, that becomes a separate and a different aspect of his feature. Not that we understand Srila Prabhupada from this. We understand Srila Prabhupada from the scriptures, and really imbibe that, and really, otherwise we can't really. What happens is, when devotees describe this dealing, that
Can I
dealing,
just ask
etc.
you, I don't understand why you don't use both. I mean, we got
I'm
scriptures
just
to understand
exactly I'm
Prabhupada,
saying
and
exactly
we've
I
got
was
dealings.
addressing that exactly. And so what happens is, when one is taking Srila Prabhupada, dealing with one person in isolation, kind of, because with isolation meaning one can't say, oh, I've read all these things. That doesn't work. When we are asked to say Shastra Chakshusha, means we are asked to see the dealing of Srila Prabhupada with the devotee through the eyes of the scriptures, not through the eyes or by hearing from a devotee. Because we don't know whether that devotee was seeing Srila Prabhupada and his actions from the eyes of the scriptures. So we have we may see him according to what he is seeing Srila Prabhupada.
Of
Maybe
course.
materially, maybe offensively, maybe very lovingly. That's all true. But we have to, because we want to save ourselves, we want to go back to Krishna's lotus feet without any interruption. We are so much like scared of being diverted. So we want to be very careful when a devotee or somebody says Srila Prabhupada, we want to see, okay, whether he's saying whether Srila Prabhupada could do like that, and then always relate it back to Shastra Chakshusha. Could Srila Prabhupada do that based on the nectar of devotion, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the other pastimes of pure devotees? That's how we see those pastimes. So,
Of course, naturally.
good. So that's the reason why we, let's say, when you say or you say me, I should understand Srila Prabhupada, or the best proof is that how Srila Prabhupada is dealing with me. That is not absolute truth, because it may be true for me, my particular circumstance. And seeing you, I see it's kind of, because even if you don't go through the scriptural way, this way, that way, Sheila, a lot of blessings are coming your way because of this tendency wanting to serve, and wanting to serve into Muslim countries. There is extra blessing because he is written like that. So I see, in spite of many of these things, Krishna is like, not just you, pure devotees do that. There is a kripa, he is written in Nectar of Devotion. There is a kripa, the mercy comes in spite of following the regulative principles, or the regulative principles becomes easier to follow if one satisfies the spiritual master. So from that angle, I see your life. You are seeing as if this is like perfect, like this is how everybody, Srila Prabhupada would deal with everybody like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Never said that. Don't think that. That's again you saying something.
Okay, so then we are all in agreement that we don't need to see how he dealt with
No,
you.
we're
We
we're
can
not
just
in
go
agreement.
through the scriptures directly.
No, we're not in agreement because we have all the Shastra about Krishna. And then Krishna came here personally in Vrindavan. Why? To show something, do something. And he had his pastimes with his devotees. And then now we read about those pastimes, and those pastimes and dealings with devotees help us to understand more about the character of Krishna. Now, all this has a purpose, as you're saying, the ultimate aim, which is to gain more attraction to Krishna and to desire pure love for him and pure service to him. So seeing the way Krishna deals with different people at different situations, more of his character is all attractive and attracts us to more. So in the same way, there's the Shastra or the law books or lawyers' books about Guru and Guru Tattva and Prabhupada. And then there's him coming here. Prabhupada came here and showed us his pastimes, how he dealt with us, different situations, blah, 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 blah. So those two, as you say also nicely, combined together have, let's say, the same purpose. Of course, the Shastra is much higher, is, although I may be wrong on that, I don't know, because I'm distinguishing between the two. But anyway, the point is to become more attracted to serving and pleasing Srila Prabhupada, to become more attracted to Krishna. That's the objective, right? So when I know this is my actually main reason why I want to hear more about Prabhupada and know more about Prabhupada is to become more attached to Prabhupada than anything else in this material world. Knowing that that will result in me going back to Godhead or more of a chance of going back to Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada's transcendental activities within this material world are not secondary for me or not important at all. And I'm just going to look at scripture. Okay, Prabhupada said that, never mind. Prabhupada did that, never mind. Where's the scripture about Prabhupada? So, anyway.
So, Prabhu, the problem is that when you do that, no, you are very correct. We need to see Srila Prabhupada, not just the scripture, but also his personal dealings. The problem in that, the concern in that is the how are we seeing that pastime? Are we seeing from the eyes of the scriptures, or are we just seeing just directly looking and hearing from the devotee without filtering it, everything?
Okay,
So
19, you take it for yourself. 1962, 1971, Govinda Mataji is seeing Prabhupada and she's dealing with her. And she's taking a motherly position and dealing with Prabhupada in that way and serving him. And Prabhupada is reciprocating with that way. 2 years later, Govinda Mataji is leaving her body. What happens to her?
Govinda Mataji is not leaving the body, no?
I just said that as an example.
Oh,
2 years later, she's leaving her body. So Prabhupada is not going to deal with her?
Of course, no. What's
Yeah.
the problem? Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're saying, oh, Govinda Mataji, where is your scriptural understanding of Prabhupada?
No. We are not talking about that. You understanding? No. As a leader, to guide others and not be diverted, that's where the scriptural understanding becomes important. But so that's how those people will talk about absolute truth. What is absolute truth? We have to take everybody to pure devotional platform, how to engage everybody into pure devotional service. That's the discussion on that level will be. But when we are talking of just general devotees who may not be concerned with philosophy, everything, you know, even there is a sentimental attachment to Srila Prabhupada, that will work. So, but that cannot, what they say about Srila Prabhupada can't be taken as absolute truth many times because of their limited or filtered understand, like stunted understanding of the absolute, personality. They may see Srila Prabhupada as very great personality, all these things. We can't take that as the absolute truth. So when you say personal experience is everything, I don't take that as absolute truth. Just like that, one has to filter it with the scriptural understanding on all these memory series. My experience with Srila Prabhupada included, because that may same thing applies. I'm a conditioned soul. my experience with Srila Prabhupada will be tinted in my own, in a wrong, many times wrongly. And like that with everybody. Because I finally find out later on I was wrong. And Srila Prabhupada was just guiding me because I had material desires like that. And that was not correct. And I see many times like that it happens. So I don't trust my own experience to understand Srila Prabhupada so much. Maybe in my own service and own relationship, that is true, but I cannot tell it to anybody, not even another soul. I can't do that because that is just my own personal thing. It is not beyond me. It is not true, or it may not be true. It could be true. Then but I have to then again quote scriptures to justify it. And be open that other devotees may be able to may correct me that my understanding was wrong, or right, or enhance it. Yes.
Once you are discussing that, no, Srila Prabhupada memories. So you were telling that, yeah, we can.
Pradyumna Prabhu, any way you can do something about your sound, it's really.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were telling that, you were telling that we can hear from all the memories, but we should not take it absolute. But so we'll be influenced na, if somebody is telling, if I do not check it with the scriptures. You were telling that you will not take all the things absolute. You will check it from Shastra Chakshusha. But like just someone like me, I cannot check it. So it will influence me also by his. You are telling that they may liking or hatred or they are envy of Srila Prabhupada. So that feeling also will come in me if I cannot check the things from
Exactly. It's dangerous, no? It's dangerous.
So then I should not hear. Then how will I check? Then I cannot hear anybody.
So that's why Srila Prabhupada again and again says, you read my books, you study my books. So it's like if we say I would not shave because I may get cut, you learn how to shave better, like safely and everything. So that's why he keeps saying that I need you study and then discuss with others something. Like, see, Krishna in the heart. If the desire is correct, no, in our heart, that I want pure devotion service as like the goal, like I want Krishna's lotus feet, morning chanting every time. It's like the main mindset, mind all the time. It is there. Krishna, please don't misguide me or like that. It is all the time. So then Krishna will give these things, and some doubt will come, oh, is correct or wrong, or suddenly remember Srila Prabhupada said something, so I don't know if this is, like that will come. Then discussion with other devotees, that Krishna will always say like that if the desire is correct.
That's what I was just about to say. Pradyumna Prabhu, you don't need to have fear because, place more, rather than importance on fear, place your importance on a sincere desire to know, love, and serve Prabhupada, and the same with Krishna. If you have that intent, then like Nimai Prabhu said, Krishna will protect you, because he's in the heart. So he's actually filtering stuff also for you. It's not just your own intelligence that's filtering. By your own desire, what is your desire? Krishna is filtering stuff that gets through to you or doesn't get through to you, influences you or doesn't influence you. But if your desire is, well, I want to hear about Prabhupada, I want to know Prabhupada, then you go with that. And stuff that's like tinted. I listen to the memory series and, 50, 60% of it, it's not so but 40%, 30%, I really love it, and you can feel that. You can feel when different people are talking about Prabhupada, how much they love Prabhupada, how much they love themselves, talking about themselves rather than Prabhupada. So, the main thing is Krishna is also
the same. Uncontaminated devotional service is the objective in that 1.35.
Say that again, sir. I couldn't hear you actually.
Yeah, you both are saying the same thing, that when we desire that uncontaminated devotional service that is mentioned in the 1.35, the objective is that thing, even though right now that is contaminated right now, my devotional service, but my desire is that uncontaminated devotional service in the association of devotee that is mentioned in that. So by that thing we can be saved.
Which kind of brings us back to the Maha Mantra. So the chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is creating that sincere desire. I only want devotional service. Please engage me in your devotional service. So when we have that mood, that's the most important. As Nimai Prabhu says, keep on cultivating that mood, that sincere desire, strong desire that I only want pure devotional service. That, from everything that comes.
Okay, Prabhu. Shall we call it a day? We finish Smaranam. Then next week we'll go into Padasevanam. And that's very interesting. So thank you very much, Prabhu. Balram Prabhu, very good discussion. We're going deeper and deeper. Okay. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpataru.
Hare Krishna, Vanchakalpatrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.